You're tuning into Radio Now 95.3 FM. My name is Doris, and this is Jollof Now on Now Drive Time. And today in the studio, I have a very interesting guest. Today with me in the studio is a very young author, and her book is just, a delight to look at. Just look at, not even when you flip through. I have with me in the studio Tomi. No, I have to address her properly. Let me clear my throat. Published author Tomi Omotowa. Thank you so much, Tomi, for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Because I wrote my first book when I was in uni.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, but it wasn't even published.
Oh, wow.
Do you get I'm beefing you right now, but I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get right into this interview.
Okay.
So, Tomi, how old are you to start with?
I'm 16.
Oh, you're so young. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so obviously you're still in school, yes?
Yes, I am. Just graduated, actually. Secondary school.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we're going right into uni very soon.
Yes.
Okay, so why did you decide to write a book?
Okay, so for the most part of my life in secondary school, I had severe communication issues. So I couldn't really talk to people about my emotions.
Okay.
And I was also trying to find my talents because I felt like everyone had their talents and I didn't have anything to do. So I now started jotting down my ideas in my head and the feelings and emotions I had since I couldn't really speak to people about it.
Right.
And then I came up with this thing where I just loved doing it every day, and then automatically I started writing.
And that was it?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. So how were you able to juggle, because this is not your first book, right? We're going to talk about your first book before we get right into this one.
Okay.
But how were you able to juggle school and writing?
Okay, so I started writing this book when I was about to start my finals, my final exams.
Okay.
So it was everything was too much, the pressure was too much. But then at the same time, it felt like it was easy to do it because it just came naturally for me to write. So I was still able to study, but then writing was okay, my break time.
Taking breaks in between.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long did it take you to write this anthology?
It took me about 2 months, actually.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's just poems. So it wasn't really... I find it easier to write poems rather than writing essays, stories,
fictions,
novels,
and stuff like that. Okay, so this is an anthology. Yeah. What is your favorite fiction or your favorite genre to read? Because as a writer, you're big on reading, I guess.
Yes,
okay.
It's actually... I like novels. I like fictions too. But then I prefer poetry because I feel like I can relate more to it because I understand the emotions that the writers put to when they're writing their poems.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's inspired you to, aside the fact that, like you said earlier, communication, there should be other things, because you could have decided to write any type of genre. You could have decided to write any form of literature, but you decided to write an anthology. So of all the genres, why do you particularly pick to write an anthology? Okay,
so like you said earlier, I have other books before this one, but then this is the one I've published. The first one I wrote was a novel.
Okay.
And then after a while, that one was basically about my life. So after a while, I couldn't complete it because I had a massive writer's block. And then I realized that writing long stories wasn't for me. And then in school, actually, we had this anthology that we were using in our literature class. And then I really enjoyed reading the poems in it. And then I was like, maybe I could just make mine instead. And then I started writing poems before I started compiling them together to form this book.
And that leads me to my next question. So you said you wrote it in 2 months?
Yeah.
Did you write it in how you're writing? Because some poetry could be shorter, some could be longer than others. Were you able to put them bits and pieces together, or you write and be like, I'm writing about a tree today, and I don't know, and then you take a break and say, let me write about lights today? How are you able to piece everything together?
So at first it was really confusing because it took me a while to even come up with the name of the book itself. But when I finally did, I realized that I needed to find 3 themes that I wanted to talk about. So when I had those three themes, it was easier for me to know and understand what I wanted to write about. And then sometimes I could start a poem and then halfway through I'm like, nah, I don't want to write about this anymore. So then I will now start again, and then it has to shall relate with the theme itself.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, that was how I was able to
write and then finish it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on a quick break and we'll be right back. You're tuned in to Radio Now 95.3 FM. My name is Doris. This is Jollof Now, and I have with me in the studio published author Tomi Omotowa. Do not touch that dial. Keep it locked on Radio Now 95.3 FM. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Radio Now 95.3 FM. My name is Doris, and this is Jollof Now on Radio Now 95.3 FM. And this is Jollof Now on Now Drive Time. And today in the studio, I have with me published author Tomi Omotowa. So we're going to deep dive into her book. This is the book. It's so cute and so lovely.
Thank you.
Okay, so before we get into Laelyn, let's touch a bit on your first project, which was a letter of fate.
Yes.
What was that about?
So that one was, it didn't have anything to do with my life actually. It was just a bunch of emotions that I put together, and I had read a book that really motivated me to write this. And I don't think I can remember the name because it was on Wattpad, but I remember that the book was a really sad book, and I was like, I want to recreate something like this. So the book itself is about a girl who lost her mom, and she had to like find different ways to make herself feel happy and like fight life, because it was like everything was coming at her
like real fast.
Yes. Yeah. So I couldn't complete that one as well because, you know, I couldn't complete long essays, but I was able to get to an extent where I was like, okay, let me just stop here. But then where I got to is like an ending, but not really an ending.
So have you ever thought of going back, finishing it off?
Yes, actually. But I want to like explore more stories and like be more, you know, I want to get my education high enough to like finish that book, because I feel like I also want to publish it. But then I need to learn a lot of things and a lot of ways to
make
write.
It like rich.
Yes, yeah, very rich.
That's nice. That's nice. Okay, so now let's get into this very, very amazing work of art. Laelyn, A Flower of Hope. What inspired the title of this anthology?
Okay, so like I said earlier, I was looking for talents in secondary school because everyone had what they wanted to do. They knew what they wanted to do after, but me, I didn't. So when I started writing, I found out that writing was my hope. So it was like anytime I would feel sad or feel like everyone is just pushing me to a corner, I would just come to writing and write everything that I'm feeling. So it was like every time writing was my hope. Writing was something I was like looking forward to. Yeah, my escape. Like, yeah, my safe space.
Yeah.
So I was researching names one time because I really like looking at names. And then I came across this name, Laelyn, and it meant a flower of hope. And it was like everything was just connecting. So I was like, okay, I'll just name it Laelyn, a flower of hope.
Aww.
But Laelyn actually means a flower of hope.
Yes, okay. So. Right. So read us one of your favorite poems from the book.
Oh, okay.
What page would that be?
That would be in the second. Okay. 36, page 36.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Under that blood-red moon where she was, on that alluring grass, together with her lover, he was completely in her head, though nobody dared to tell her that. But all she knew, he was there with her, under that blood-red moon.
So obviously, there is an imagined person. Because
I
studied literature. I majored in literature, so when I heard I was going to be interviewing a young author, I was so excited. I was like, I would interview her. I'm not even joking. At the meeting, right? My boss was saying, so there's this young author who, and I was like, on mute, I would interview her. You know, it was like, I was like, okay, Doris, you can have her. I was like, yes, I did a little dance. And so yeah, absolutely love this for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so who would you say is your favorite writer?
Chimamanda Adichie.
Of course, Chimamanda Adichie. And amongst all her books, which book do you think, gets you?
Purple Hibiscus, for real. Because it's like I can really relate to her books because it's Nigerian based. Yes. And also, Purple Hibiscus is about like a Nigerian family, sorry. And it's like a mix of different cultures. And I really like talking about cultures and Nigeria in a whole. So I really enjoyed that book, and I read it in school. And normally I don't enjoy school books, but that one was really, really nice. So when I started reading her books, I was like, okay, I want to be like her someday.
Okay, and that you would be, and of course, even greater. Okay, so I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to, since you like to write stuff like this, anthology, and since you like Chimamanda, I will be gifting you a book called The Thing Around Your Neck. From my own personal collection.
Oh, thank you.
So that is from years ago that I bought it when I was in uni. So just remind me, I'm going to be giving you that book.
Thank you
yes,
so much.
It's similar to this. It's like, short stories, not poetry.
Yeah.
But it is a collection of short stories. And like you said, you like things that are very Nigerian. Yeah. So it has all of that in there, and you'd absolutely love it.
Thank you.
So A Thing Around Your Neck by Chimamanda is something that I think you should read. Okay, so what difficulties did you face whilst you were, writing Laelyn?
Okay, so it had to do with school. I had to study, and then I also had to write this. And I already said that I was going to publish this before I graduate, so I could celebrate two things at once. And then, so it was like I had to write this while doing my exams. But then I was able to finish because, like I said before, it was like my break time to write this since I enjoyed doing it. So that was the main difficulty. But I had a lot of support, so it was really good.
Okay, great. So what things do you think can be put in place to make creativity easier for published writers?
Okay, I feel like there should be more awareness, like websites where young writers especially could go to and then could learn more about what they want to do. And because for me, I had to find so many, like I had to take my time to find websites that would explain how to publish or explain how to self-publish, explain how to go about like writing in general. And it took me like a really long time before I could find like a little bit, like 2 sources, I think. And then, it was really hard for me to find those websites. So I feel like there should be more awareness on self-publishing for young writers. And that's
okay. So now you've written fiction, you've written an anthology.
Yeah.
What genre would you like to write next?
Another anthology. Because I really enjoyed writing this one, I can't lie. This one was really, really good. Like while I was writing it, I would just be listening to music and just like be writing it. So I want to write another anthology.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? What should we be expecting aside rather the next anthology? What else should we be expecting from you, Tomi?
Well, more pieces of my work, more books, probably fiction books, probably fiction books, and a lot of anthologies too. So but yeah.
Okay, so how can our listeners or viewers buy your book? How can they purchase this book?
It's on Amazon. Yes, it's on Amazon, and I also have a website, and it's on my Instagram page, which is called Tomi Writes 06 on Instagram. Yes.
Writes as in WRITES. Okay,
yes.
so Tomi Writes 06 on Instagram.
Yes.
Okay, so could you please spell out the Laelyn so people can know how to search for it?
Okay, it is LAELYN, a flower of hope.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Tomi, for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Yeah. It's officially a wrap. You're tuned into Radio Now 95.3 FM. My name is Doris, and this is Jollof Now on Now Drive Time. Do not touch that dial. Keep it locked on Radio Now 95.3 FM.